So merong mga explanations dito, no? What is the relationship of the unit between the uniformat and the master format? Okay. So as you can see, master format is about specifications, specifying. Okay. While yan. Sige lang. So that is not so much our concern right now, okay? So we could now look at each of these. So may mga explanations dito, but we don't really have to go there. We could now start with letter A. No? So saan magsisimula yan? Here. Okay. So the numbering, kasi outline to class, outline guide, okay, for the standards or for the classification. So wag na yan. Dito tayo sa letter A magsimula. There, okay? So remember, substructure is actually a building enclosure, no? Pero in building enclosure, as I said, the second stage, your agenda is more about protection and defense, no? How to defend your building. So substructure is one of the 4 elements that we are concerned about, no? But substructure is also a structure, remember? So nasa first stage tayo, no? Nasa structural stage tayo, okay? And that is the part of the building that is below ground, no? So I told you, above the building, you call it a superstructure, okay? So the site is on the ground, and not only that, even below ground is part of it, no? Is a concern. Do you understand now why am I discussing this, the substructure, including the foundation? Because that is part of the site, no? So ang building natin usually is, in a sense, relevant as a structure from ground all the way up. From ground below, that is like integrating it with the site, no? I know we could separate it, but that's why. You have letter A, substructure, letter G as your site works, okay? So, ihiwalay din natin yan eventually. All right? Claro? So, the first issue in substructure, as I said, is the foundation. Okay? Di ba? Sabi ko sa inyo. Ang foundation is part of the substructure. Ano? So, surely, when we think of foundation, these are the structural elements of your building. Ano? So, load capacity. Or hindi, no? So those are performance requirements or issues that you have to address, okay, in foundation. But as far as the functional element, meaning the footing, the column is concerned, the foundation itself, this is actually broken down into the standard and the special foundation, okay? So you could see there, this is standard foundation. We follow that with special foundation. And some others, marami pa yan, class, okay? So, yeah, I think dalawa lang naman. I mean, maraming klase, ng special foundation. All right? Sige. Now, aside from this functional element, the building element in itself, the column and the footing, marami pang nuances yan involved. Like the formworks, di ba? Nung nag-usap tayo ng concrete, mahalaga yung role ng formwork. And since mostly, the structure, the material used in substructure is mainly concrete, so formwork will come into play. Okay? Sometimes the formwork that we use is just the earth itself. Na-realize nyo, pag magbutas kayo ng maghukay, hindi nyo na kailangan formahan kasi yung mismong hukay, yun na yung magsisilbing formwork mo. No? So that is true. Okay? Now, hindi rin kaila na at some point, we also use masonry. in, let's say, meron tayong hollow blocks, di ba? So, nakakagamit din tayo ng hollow block. Pero again, hindi ganun ka-reliable ang masonry, ano? But we are not excluding or totally eliminating that aspect, no? Reinforcement is also a concern, right? Obvious naman kasi reinforced concrete is usually reinforced, no? Aside from that, there are related activities such as excavation, okay? What about dewatering? Now, I told you that water is, kumbaga, ever present below ground. So, during construction, it could be a challenge, no? To remove water from this site. Okay? So, mahirapan ka mag-construction kapag nandyan yung tubig, no? Paano ka magbuhos, and so on, no? And then, the support systems for your excavation. Maraming mga techniques for that, no? Mga sheet piling, shotcrete, soldier beams, and slurry walls, etc. No? And then all the way to finishing that, so ibabalik mo na yung pinaghukayan mo, which is called backfill. And then, once you return the backfill, you compact, kakaroon ng compaction, and then finally, you're going to have soil treatment, which involves not just termites, but also rodents, vermin, and vegetation, even vegetation. Okay? So that is to say, itong ating guide na to, yung uniformat na to, is very, very comprehensive. Okay? I don't know if you have felt it right now already. Parang ang dami ko kaagad in-input, ano, ng mga bagay-bagay. Although, these are just words, ano. What is important is, you have an idea kung ano yung mga consideration, mga concerns na dapat mong pag-isipan or i-consider doon sa special subject na to, no? Which is substructure. Okay? So, I mean, later on, maybe we are going to check out some concepts or words here that are unfamiliar to us. So, hindi ko kay matansya. Ang assumption ko at the moment is you have an idea or at least you understand, no? Or you understand or at least you have an idea. What do you mean by these words, no? I mean, alit ba dito yung hindi familiar sa inyo? What about dewatering? Do you read? Dewatering is essentially removal of water during construction. That's it. That's the meaning of dewatering. Okay? Di ba? Alam mo yung maghuhukay ka, tapos may tubig. Tumatambay yung tubig doon kasi nandun yung water table. So, paano ka magbubuhos, maglalatag ng bakal? Mahirap gawin, no? So, pinapump out mo na yan. Di ba? So, that's what we call dewatering. Okay? Iba siya sa drainage. Well, drainage is one way for dewatering, you know, but not all the time because you are already below ground. How can you drain that? So, you need a pump to remove that. So that's why the operative word is removal rather than drainage. Okay? Sige, let's continue. So in standard foundations, usually wall and column lang naman yan, class. Right? Okay? Yun lang naman yung vertical elements mo, no? So wala pang discussion dito about footing. In fact, no? So you have an idea what is a footing, right? So for walls are usually continuous, ano? So you can see here the continuous footings for walls. Siyempre, kapag columns, spread footings lang yan or what they call pad footing. So specific lang siya sa, or kumbaga concentrated, no? Okay? Or some other books, they would call it isolated footing, no? Ang ano naman, ang continuous footing sa ibang book, they call it strip footing. Okay? So, pare-pareho lang yan, ha? So, what you notice here, concrete is the foremost material, no? And usually side cast or cast in place. This is not concrete that is precast. Pwede rin naman, okay? Like, foundation walls can be precast concrete, no? Pwede ngang masonry, hollow block lang, di ba? Pwede rin, no? Pwede kang wood, treated wood foundations, okay, for your walls. Why not, no? Kuha. So, talagang napaka-comprehensive nitong uniformat class. Covered niya lahat ng mga considerations mo, yung options mo that are available for your selection, ano? Now, for column foundations naman, so it can be in terms of footings or it can be piers, ano? Okay? So, ibang klase yan, yung column piers, ano? So, para kang naglagay ng maraming piers and then doon mo ipapatong yung, yan na yung mismong footing mo, no? So, there. Now, what are the, kumbaga, supplementary components that you could find in standard foundation, whether it's column or walls, ano? So, number one is void form. So, ito. So, have you heard of this term? So, if you haven't heard of this term, then let's try to Google this term, no? So, magugulat ka na, uy, may ganito pala, no? So, let's check it out. Void forms. Okay. So, stop share muna tayo. Then, let's go to AI. What is void form? Look at this. Void forms are specialized structural materials, usually made of corrugated paper or plastic foams, ano? Used in construction to create a temporary space between concrete slabs, beams, or foundations. And then they are used to support wet concrete. So gagawin mo siyang forma and then later on, matutupok lang siya, no? So you see that they support the concrete but they collapse or degrade. Mabubulok lang siya kumbaga, no? So para bang nakagawa ka na ng ng septic tank. Okay, for example, no? So sa septic tank, kung gagawin mo siya ng forma, bubuhusan mo siya, anong nangyari doon sa forma mo? So iniwan mo lang siya, hindi mo na siya aalisin, di ba? Do you understand? So it's like a void form. All right? Now, bakit gagawin mo to? Obviously, sa septic tank, you understand, kasi it should be a hollow area para paglagyan ng soil or waste, no? But in this case, in structures, bakit ka naglalagay ng void form? Again, you have to understand bakit merong ganito. Okay? So, ang sabi nila, as soil expands, ano? So the void forms, the hollow part, okay, prevents structural damage from soil heave and reducing maintenance costs. So parang merong soil expansion na nagagawa, parang itutulak niya yung building mo, no? So dahil sa available na hollow area, may lugar. Alala mo yung air and drain concrete na kapag mag-expand yung water, hindi mababasag yung concrete mo, no? So parang ganito rin yung effect, diba? Sometimes we have that, like hindi naman soil expansion, kundi minsan may puno, naglagay ka ng sidewalk, and then yung sidewalk nakita mo nabasag or umangat, because umangat yung ugat ng puno. So may mga possible na pwedeng mangyari sa site mo, and one way to adjust or to address this concern is through the use of a void form. Okay? So if you look at pictures here, no? Yan. Ito mukhang ano lang to, karton ang ginamit, no? Okay? So there, no? Why are void forms used in foundation? So to absorb soil expansion, to reduce the amount of concrete, to create more stable slab, to reduce soil excavation. Alain mo, no? So materials, it could be corrugated paper, expanded metal, metal sheet, plastic, styrofoam, wood. Okay? So degradable siya, no? Okay. So ang galing, no? So karton lang ang ginamit mo para mabulok siya, and then later on, yun na yun, no? So that is the concept of a void form. All right? In case you don't know about it. Okay? So collapsible siya. So again, masyado na tayong malalim dito, okay? But that's what I'm telling you, class, ano? Some words, some terms we are not familiar with. Right away we could check out what they are, no? So this concept may be new to you, no? The concept of a void form, okay? So, saan mo makikita ang void form? Sa site works, sa foundation works. Okay? So, ganun lang. I hope ma-appreciate nyo itong document na to. Kasi I tell you class, this is the best guide. When you want to study site works and foundation, just go to Uniformat. No? Yan ang masasabi ko dyan. Ito ang tunay na talagang guidance outline na magagamit mo. Okay? I am very, very particular when it comes to the structure and organization of your review. Okay? I want it to be systematic kasi. That's why I told you about it. Ano? May apat na major materials, may panglima, the site, and then after the structure, we go to the building enclosure. There are 4 building elements involved, and then there are 13 concerns, and then we go to the third stage, which is building services. There are 23 items of concern. Then, saka ka pala makarating sa fourth stage, which is the finishes, which involve 7 items of concern naman. So, I always count the numbers, ano? Because I tell you, I have compiled this. I have organized this in my head already kung ano yung building construction, no? So, in the most basic way, I could provide it for you, no? So, when it comes to site works, this is the best guide, no? Okay? So, ang gusto kong sabihin sa iyo is magtiwala kayo dito. I can tell you, this is the best standard that you could follow. Okay? Wala, hindi mo kailangan ng teacher, hindi mo, syempre, malaking tulong kung may magtuturo sa iyo, no? Okay? Pero as you can see now, you could do self-study just with this, no? During your review. Okay? What else? Ano pa mga concern? Oh, look at this, damp proofing and insulation. What about that? So, take note. This is a protective element. Remember, Uniformat is functional elements, no? Hindi siya necessarily building element, which is ang column, ang poste, ang wall, alam mo, kaya mong hawakan, ano? Pero itong damp proofing and insulation, kung saan-saan mo ito makikita, no? Sa bubong, meron, di ba? Sa pader, meron, sa sahig. Ito, nandito tayo ngayon sa substructure. So kahit sa ilalim ng lupa, naglalagay pa rin tayo ng damp proofing and insulation. Damp proofing, hindi lang damp proofing, pati moisture, vapor retarders, no? Bakit? Kasi moisture, water is ever present. Okay? Wala pang waterproofing yan, no? So, hindi naman natin issue kasi foundational, structural lang to, no? Hindi kagaya ng wall na kailangan mong protection, baka pumasok sa basement mo, no? Hindi pa naman basement ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. Structural element pa lang naman, foundation pa lang. But you don't want damp to stay. Damp is like moisture that has no hydrostatic pressure. So ang ibig sabihin lang, tumatambay lang siya doon. Okay? So you don't want that to happen because anong ginagawa ng tubig dito, no? So you don't want that to happen. So as much as possible, maiwasan, no? Wag magkaroon ng damp. Hindi siya magiging damp. Okay? So lalagyan mo siya ng damp proofing. What about insulation? So hindi rin maganda ang insulation. Hindi rin maganda na malamig kasi ang thermal, ang heat at saka yung cold nagko-conduct yan eh. So habang lumalamig, tumatravel yan sa building mo. So lumalamig din yung ibang lugar, no? Because malamig siya. Now, would you imagine, bakit malamig ba diyan? Well, have you heard of the word permafrost? Okay, so let's go to permafrost. So let's Google the term permafrost. No? What is permafrost? Sige. So permafrost, no? So permafrost is ground, whether soil, rock, or sediment that remains frozen. What is the rule? Basta below 0 degrees for at least 2 consecutive years. Okay, so once more than 2 years na siya, that is considered already as permafrost. Okay? Some layers are even frozen for thousands of years already. No? So again, may kinalaman yan, ano? So, sa ating building. So, permafrost protection. Okay. So, in foundation, ano? So, ligyan natin siya na foundation protection. Okay? So, there, ha? So, kailangan mong, yan, foundations for building on permafrost. So, merong document dito, no? Given by, anyway, so, this is a good document, no? Okay? So you could have pile foundation, okay? So I could, although wala naman tayong ganyan dito, ano? So just to give you an idea, bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng insulation, ano? Remember, this is, this is, let me see first. Okay. Sige. So nakita nyo class, ano? Why do we need to protect our foundation from thermal, no? So na-appreciate nyo na because of these things, okay? So that's why you need insulation for our foundation as well, okay? Now, these are just regular or standard foundations, ano? What about special foundation? So whether standard or special, the activities such as excavation, the watering, okay, the backfill, the compaction, the support systems, all of these activities have to be considered. Ano? So we have here driven piles, okay? So what are driven piles? Ano? Marami pang mga ano dyan, may pile caps, and so on. Okay. So itong driven piles are piles that are pinupukpok, ano? So those are driven piles. Okay, board piles is para siyang binabarena, no? So that's why you see this word drilling, okay? So kasama sa challenge mo dyan is yung mag-excavate ka sa pinakailalim niya and then alisin mo yung tubig, ano? Because in board piles, what actually happens is after you drill the pile, ano? What happens? Lalagyan mo siya, bubuhusan mo siya ng konkreto. So, babakalan mo siya. Okay? So, yung caissons at saka board piles are somewhat similar, no? Pero, ang caissons is masyado na siyang malaki. So, hindi mo na siya binabarena. Ina-excavate mo na siya mismo, no? So, these are sunken or driven load-bearing enclosures, ano? Look at this, an enclosure. Okay? So, pagkatapos mo magbutas doon, gagawa ka ng foundation. Okay? So, have you heard of that, no? So, let's take a look at caissons, okay? Let's talk about caissons. Ano to? Let's go to caissons. So, what does a caisson look like now? Caisson in foundations. Okay. Sige, pwede na yan. Actually, parang may pagka-similarity ang caisson sa cofferdam, except that cofferdams are found in bodies of water. On land naman, you call it a caisson. Okay? So, caisson in foundations, no? In foundations. So you could see there, no? This is what a caisson looks like, no? Parang gumawa ka talaga ng malaking enclosure para gagawan mo siya ganito, no? Ganito kalaki, enclosure talaga, no? So, merong mga ganyang kalalaki ng mga construction activities. Yung kanina, yung board piles, para ka lang maliit, ano? Ito, sobrang laki talaga, okay? Ang cofferdam, okay, ang caisson also is somewhat permanent, no? Pero ang cofferdam is, yan, usually at bodies of water, para siyang caisson, ano? And cofferdams are just temporary. So once maitayo mo na yung, let's say, maglagay ka ng poste at saka, at saka, what you call this, pylon for your bridge, then, pwede mo na siyang alisin, no? So, here, what is the difference between a cover dam and a caisson? Okay. So the main difference between the two is that coffer dams are temporary, whereas caissons are built to remain in place as a completed structure. Okay? You get the idea? So basically that's it, no? So they are somewhat similar. They are almost the same. Okay? Are you okay there, class? No? So again, this is what I'm telling you. We are very well guided by this document, the uniformat in our study on substructures or on foundations and even at the site, no? So, magtiwala kayo dyan, I tell you. Ito yung pinakamagandang, pinakamagandang document na mag-guide sa atin. Okay? So, as you can see, ang daming purpose ng caisson, to protect your excavation for your foundation. Okay? And then to promote substructure construction, or it becomes part of the permanent structure. So practically, yung mababasa mo dito, that is the definition of the term, no? Okay. So kita mo yung board files, no? You drill, you case, you bell bottom, you excavate, all of these activities, no? So meron mga special foundation walls if necessary. What about foundation anchors? So isa pa to. What are these? Ba't kailangan mo mag-anchor, no? So by definition, it says here, by description, these are anchor assemblies to fasten deep foundations, walls, and similar elements to rock or other material. So parang masyadong, masyadong abstract. Let's try to look at it in the internet. What is a foundation anchor? Okay. Foundation anchor. So parang meron kang iba pang panghahawakan. So in a wall, so if you look at this, okay, para hindi bumigay yung pader mo, ibabaon mo siya doon, no? So that is a wall anchor. Maraming terms yan, maraming ibig sabihin, maraming yan, may tinatawag na soil nail, may mga tie backs and so on, no? So that is considered kasi retaining walls are part of the foundation, no? Okay. So there you go, no? Foundation anchors. Ganyan. Have you heard of the term dead man? Dead man in foundation. Okay, so this is what you call a dead man, So maglalagay ka ng mabigat na bagay, tapos isasabit mo siya. Kanina, ang tawag natin sa kanya, wall anchor lang, Pero pag meron siyang mabigat na bagay, that's why it's called a dead man, yung mabigat na bagay. Okay? So yan, nakikita mo, bubuhusan mo ng konkreto pero meron kang hawak dito para hawakan yung retaining wall mo. Okay? So that is a concept of foundation anchors. Maraming iba't ibang forms, ng foundation anchors. All right? So I hope that is somewhat, again, just a little bit of idea, kung how these things work out. Okay? Yeah, balik na tayo sa ating discussion. Okay? Isahin natin to class, no? This is our module 2 practically. Okay? Next is underpinning. What is underpinning? So you could use underpinning in literature, like an underpinning. So it's like the basis or the foundational premise. Parang ganun, Pero in foundation works, underpinning is essentially replacing a structural, an existing foundation while the foundation remains in place. So, ibig sabihin, you are introducing a new foundation not to replace, Okay? But, yeah, pwede mo siyang i-replace. Okay? Pero ang idea doon is, hindi na gumagana yung existing, so ikaw yung pamalit doon sa foundation na yun. pero hindi mo na kailangang alisin yung existing. Okay? So, how do you actually demonstrate this? Ano? So, let's take a look. Punta na naman tayo. So, these are concepts, class, that I am telling you about, no? Na you could easily understand them as long as you are in the right context. Okay? Nasa tamang lugar ka para aralin to, no? Hindi yung ano yan, wala lang nang mag-usap kayo ng underpinning, mamaya-maya punta kayo sa ibang topics. Hindi ganoon, ano? So makikita natin sequentially, no? Na nasa isang subject tayo. Ang topic natin is foundations, okay? So may mga ganyang activities, ano, na iangat mo muna. Okay? So gagawa ka ng panibagong foundation sa isang existing foundation. So unang-una gagawin mo is tukuran mo muna yung existing foundation and then gagawan mo siya ng dagdag na pundasyon. Okay? So mahalaga dito yung term na needle, no? Needle beams, okay? So let's take a look. This is an example of a needle beam, no? So ito yung existing foundation niya, tapos gagawan ka ngayon ng needle beam, no? Itutusok mo siya doon sa pader, tapos lalagyan mo siya ng pundasyon para kargahin niya yung panibago, no? Okay? So needle beam. Okay? So that is a concept of a needle beam. For example, yan ito. Yan. So as you can see, the needle beam, this is the old foundation. So gagawa ka muna ng needle beam, tapos iangat mo siya, and then lalagyan mo siya ngayon ng panibagong foundation. Okay? Para kargahin ang building. Okay? So, the role of a needle beam is very important when it comes to underpinning, no? Okay? So, I hope you realize that by now. All right? Sige, balik tayo sa ating... Okay. Next, you have raft foundation. All right? So, as you can see, dito, raft foundation is under special foundation, ano? Sa National Structural Code, ang breakdown ng foundation is either shallow foundation or deep foundation. So, most of the time, yung mga standard foundation are just shallow foundation. Pero sa National Structural Code, even yung raft or mat foundation is considered as what you call this standard or shallow foundation. So here it is under special foundation. So what is a raft foundation, ano? Okay. So a raft foundation is foundation that has a footing for all the columns. So isang bagay lang siya, no? Okay? Isang footing lang siya for all the columns, no? So kasama na dyan yung pag-establish mo ng grading, no? And even the sub-base and mud slugs, all the protective elements like thermal insulation, moisture or vapor retarder, waterproofing. Then the joints involved, no? Whether expansion joints, control joints, and then the reinforcement and concrete materials, the formworks for your concrete, and all the way to the finishes. So kasi ang idea nga ng raft foundation is it is the whole, no? So let's take a look at raft foundation. But maybe you have an idea about raft foundation by this time. Raft. So as you can see, a raft foundation is like the foundation for everything, no? So isang buhusan na lang siya. Okay? Para sa lahat. So in tall buildings, sometimes the thickness of the raft foundation can go as high as 2 meters, no? Imagine that. Kahit ilibing kang nakatayo, no? Doon sa bubuhusang konkreto, ganyang kalaki, no? So very, very large construction activity yung raft foundation. Okay? Kaya makikita mo, ang daming concerns involved, ano? Okay? So, raft foundation for tall, no, buildings. So, So makikita mo sobrang laki talaga yan, no? Ng yan. So in tall buildings, after the piles, magbubuhos ka ngayon, no? Ng isang napaka laking raft. Okay? So makikita mo yung kapal ng parang isang floor yung kapal niya, no? Nakita niyo? Okay? So ganyan ang essence ng isang raft foundation. Ganyan siya kalaki na konkreto. Okay? So meron pa ba tayong ibang pictures dyan that shows the very, very large. Okay? So in this building, for example, what is this building? I think this is in so ba yan? Talagang pinagtyagaan ko yun Sabi ko na nga ba, sa Frankfurt yun. Wow. So you could see the rough foundation there, no? Anyway, so that's enough, no? That's enough. Okay, tama na yan. So I would think by this time, you already have an idea what is a rock foundation. Okay, sige, balik na tayo. Okay. So obviously, the material is concrete, no? Wala nang iba. So ano pa? Pile caps. So when you have piles, lalagyan mo siya ng sombrero para doon ipapatong yung footing, no? So, ganun lang yan. Okay? So, grade beams. So, yung mga iba't ibang beam below ground, tie beams, grade beams. So, the structural, you will discuss that as well, no? All right? So there, all the foundation elements in your substructure are covered here. So, mayroon pa ba kayong kailangang malamang iba? So, that's all you need, no? That's all you need. Kuha niyo, class. So, when it comes to the discussion on foundation, for example, let me wait. Okay. Let's talk about footing, no? Wait lang, class. So I will have this. Okay. There. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the different footings, okay, in foundations, we could quickly browse through here, no? So the foundation systems, as you can see, we are talking about the substructure and the foundation as described by Uniformat as actually they're just one in the same. No? It's just that foundation is the structural, the substructure is the structure, the enclosure. No? So I told you about the term shallow foundations and deep foundations. So ito na yung mga footings, ano? So in shallow foundations, you have spread footing, and so you have pad and strip and the rough foundation. So I told you that rough foundations are considered as shallow foundations. No? While deep foundations, you have caissons or board piles, no? And the driven piles. Okay? So you have spread or column or pad footing, and then you have the continuous or wall or strip footing. So maraming klase, ano? May mga variations yan. Okay? It can be made of masonry only. It could be concrete. It could be reinforced or some trench fill or beam strips. May mga variants pa yan. Ang step footing, at saka tie beams, grade beams, Then for spread or pad footing, yan. May mga technique na combined footing pa. So hindi yan rock foundation na nasa topic pa rin yan ng spread footing, yung mga combined footing. Or in some books they call that balanced footing, no? So depende sa load. Like kapag malaki yung load sa isa, mas malaki yung kanyang footing, no? But come to think of it, when you really do that in construction, hindi ka naman gagawa ng trapezoid, ano? Usually you just excavate as a rectangle, no? So as long as you comply with the minimum requirement for the dimensions. Then meron pang tinatawag na cantilevered footing. No? This one is called pump handle footing. So a cantilevered balance foundation is when you are compelled not to place your footing directly below your column. No? So when does this happen? So there are cases like, for example, yung kapitbahay mo, yun pala yung footing niya pumasok sa property mo. Alam nga namang sirain mo yung footing niya, no? So ang gagawin mo is maglalagay ka ng footing na hindi aligned with the the structural member, the column or the wall, okay? Oh, and dito naman sa kanan is, for example, meron kang iniiwasan ng mga pipes. Let's say may dumaan pala na drainage pipe or an oil pipe or whatever, no? So, hindi mo kailangan sirain yun. So, gumawa ka lang ng footing na hindi aligned with your structural member, your column or wall. Okay? So, that is why minsan, ganito yung solution na ginagawa. Okay? So, just showing you the variations of all these things. No? So ito naman yung rough foundation. So I already showed this to you. No? So this is an example of a rough foundation. Ang sabi niya dito, pouring a large foundation mat. Ano? So 6 truck-mounted pumps receive concrete from a continuous procession of transit mix concrete trucks. So mga ready-mix truck yan. Ano? Now, concrete placement continues non-stop around the clock. Hanggang ma-kompleto to. Okay? So the idea is to avoid cold joints because dapat continuous siya. Okay? So I told you about cold joints. Ano? These are weakened planes between hardened concrete and fresh concrete. So you don't want that to happen because you want it to be homogeneous or monolithic. So this is a very thick, maabot to ng mga 6 feet, 1.8 meters thickness. Okay? Now, may mga variation din yan. So, nilalagyan, pwedeng crusted lang siya. So, hindi siya solid na slab, ano? So, yung part lang na may mga columns, doon siya makapal. Okay? So, crust wrap ang tawag. What about blanket wrap, no? So, a blanket wrap is when a rough foundation rests on a blanket of stone, no? Or stone blanket, okay? So, which is built in layers of a reduced substrata. So, ang ibig sabihin niyan, it gives stronger, surface, no? Kung saan papatong ang iyong rough foundation. Okay? So, in that sense, okay, the blanket effectively disperses any heavy point or edge loads or imbalance of loads. Kasi nasa spread out niya. Okay? So that is the idea, no? Na di-disperse niya yung load through the blanket. Meron ding slip plane, ano? So instead of a gravel or anong sabi dito, these are stone, no? Lalagyan mo siya ng slip plane made of sand. So the idea naman dito is yung rough mo para siyang nakapatong sa buhangin na kapag may earthquake, parang nag-i-slide lang siya doon sa buhangin. So, hindi ka agad direct yung impact ng movement ng earth doon sa building mo. Kasi ina-absorb ng buhangin, no? Yung movement. Okay? So, these are just variation that I'm showing you. Another form naman of a raft is called a cellular raft. So, para siyang void forms, ano? Pero this time, void forms kasi is tend to degrade or just deteriorate, ano? The cellular raft is like a permanent void, no? So the idea is, this is related to the concept of what we call cannot remember. What is the name again? Yan, floating foundation, okay, or compensated foundation, wherein the weight of the soil removed from the excavation is close or equal to the weight of the building constructed. Okay? So ang usual equivalence niya is 1 story of excavated soil is equivalent to 5 to 8 stories high of your superstructure. Ito na yung sinabi ko kanina na habang tumataas yung building mo, obligado ka na maglalim, no? So that's why hindi mo maiwasan na magkaroon ng substructure, ng basement, no? So sa iba, they use this as parking, syempre. Pero technically, that is needed for your structure. Okay? So that is the concept of a cellular raft, no? Some features of a cellular raft is it can be leaded, meaning pwede siyang covered na pwede mong gamitin yung ilalim, yung laman, no? Yung void. And you also feature beam strips to hold all the columns. Okay? And then yung iba naglalagay ng jack, no? So the idea of the jack is when the building, pag nawawala siya sa tamang level, sa tamang hulog, pwede mong i-jack para bumalik siya sa tamang pwesto niya. So, malaking tulong kumbaga na meron ka rin ganito. But of course, it will entail more costs. But here, again, I am showing you here the different technologies that are already in place or being, kumbaga, practiced na through the development of building technology. Ibig sabihin, through the ages, through the years. And then, for piles, yung piles naman na yan, meron din tayo niyan, ano? So, I think we have already discussed caissons, ano? For piles naman, yan. So, itong caisson niya dito, drilled pier lang. So, ang equivalent dito is the board pile, ano? So, ang caisson sa iba, talagang is an enclosure. Okay? So, pero makikita mo, ang laki-laki, oh. Pero mayroon pang mas malaki talaga niyan, di ba? So, grabe yung foundation works, no? And then for pile driving, ito, pinupukpok. Okay. So the idea is to reach a very hard strata, no? So essentially parang bato na siya. So pag malalim ka na, hindi pa rin ka pa rin tumatama sa matigas na strata. Magpi-friction pile ka na lang. So, dadaanin mo na lang sa friction ng iyong piles, ano? So, these are pile caps. So, friction piles, ano, are driven and ang gagawin mo sa friction pile is papadamihin mo siya. Kasi the more na dumadami siya, lumalaki yung kanyang, kumbaga, support, no, system. Okay? Grade beams and materials mostly are concrete talaga, no? Pag sabihin mo, pero meron ding steel, may timber din, okay? So marami pang ibang pile materials that you could use, ano? So again, these are the different kumbaga systems that are available, no, for deep foundation. Okay, so very quickly lang, ano? Now there are other systems like by base isolation. So parang sun slip or slip plane to, ano? Diba yung sa buhangin, dumudulas. So ito naman, mayroon kang metal plates na magdi-displace yung building mo. Tapos i-adjust mo siya, iipitan mo ulit siya ng plate para pumuesto siya sa tamang lugar. Okay? Now, hindi ito masyadong common sa atin, pero in other countries like Taiwan and Japan, no, na napaka-frequent ng earthquake, meron silang mga ganitong technologies. Okay? Underpinning, I already explained to you. And then this one is called up-down foundation, up-down construction, wherein hindi pa tapos yung substructure mo, parang nakakalusot ka na, nakakaakyat ka na to the superstructure, no? So this is parang para mapabilis yung trabaho, okay? So that's it, no? That is our discussion for the different foundation elements. Okay? So we now go back to the uniformat. Okay? So let's look naman at the enclosures. Okay? So ibig sabihin, doon tayo sa structural, the footing, the columns, the foundation, no? Pero this time, the enclosure. So the basement, the retaining walls, no? The walls. Okay? So the basement construction performance. So crucial yan. Ibig sabihin, structural yan, ano? The retaining walls, di ba? So we will see that iba't ibang klaseng support systems, okay? And then the protection elements. So this time, thermal pa rin, ano? I told you about thermofrost, no? Permafrost is crucial. The earth pressures involved, the water vapor is also an issue, okay? So for the walls in your enclosure, so again, we are talking here about concrete, ano? Pwede rin namang masonry. Pero the preferred material is always concrete, reinforced concrete particularly. Okay? So the usual activities of excavation and the watering, the support systems, all the way to the backfill and compaction and the soil treatment will have to be considered as well. Okay? So the construction, the priority or preferred material is always site cast concrete. And then look at this, no? So while you have a wall, a structural wall, your retaining wall, pero meron ka pang hiwalay na interior skin, ano? So an interior wall, okay? So again, babalikan ko yung mantra na sinasabi ko kanina na the more that you separate, the better the performance, okay? So in a sense, kapag merong movement or whatever activities na mangyari sa structure mo, like may tumagos na moisture or whatever, parang ang idea ng interior wall is hindi siya na aapektuhan, no? So ikaw na gumagamit sa basement, parang hindi mo ramdam na merong mga nangyayari doon sa structural, no? So for example, nag-crack yung wall, which is it's not saying na uy, may problema, no? Pero ang idea is you don't see the crack at the finish because what you see is just the interior wall. Okay? Do you ever do something like that? Kasi ang kadalasan kasi nating na-experience sa ating mga bahay is yung pader natin, for example, na hollow block. Anong ginawa natin dyan? Ano? Sa labas, pinalitadahan natin. And then, pininturahan mo. Sa loob, pinalitadahan mo rin. Then, pininturahan mo. So, parang ang pader, iisang bagay lang siya. And then, meron lang siyang exterior side and interior side, and then pininturahan mo. So parang iisang bagay lang siya. Pero iba yung meron kang wall, and then meron ka pang cladding sa labas, and then meron ka pang cladding sa loob. So yung nasa gitna, yung structural wall na yon, whatever happens to the structural wall will not affect, okay, the cladding that you see outside and the cladding that you see inside. Again, the principle is the more that you separate these elements, no, the better the performance. Okay? Kaya you would appreciate why there is such a thing as interior skin, ano? Usually made of plaster o kaya gypsum board. Okay? What are the supplementary components? So again, here we go. The protection elements, damp proofing. This time, waterproofing na. Kanina, nung structural yung pinag-usapan, foundation pa lang, wala pa tayong issue about waterproofing. No? Pero ito kasi, when you say basement, habitable space kasi yan. Okay? So dyan mo madi-differentiate yung foundation sa substructure. When you say substructure, there is a habitable part. No? Then insulation, and then moisture. Okay? So again, how do you differentiate before versus damp proofing and vapor retarder? So parang hindi ba pareho silang moisture lang? Okay? So difference between damp proofing, and vapor retarder. So let's take a look. Itong mga pinapakita ko sa inyo class, you could just screenshot these things, ano? Or so anong sabi? Damp proofing and vapor retarders, they both manage moisture, right? Pareho lang silang moisture, no? But they target different sources and states of water. Okay? So damp proofing, so these are liquid coatings or membranes, keeps exterior liquid soil moisture from penetrating basement walls and slabs. While vapor retarders, these are thin sheets of paints, they control interior moisture vapor, preventing it from entering walls and condensing. So, well, it's not so clear, no? Depende yan kasi sa pinanggagalingan ng iyong source. Eh. Alam mo naman si AI, no? What about damp proofing versus waterproofing? Hindi, wala tayong issue dyan, okay? Damp is parang water din siya, pero sabi ko nga sa'yo, yung word is tumatambay siya, no? So, ibig sabihin, tumatambay lang siya dito, hindi siya nangungulit. So, ang kaibahan ng waterproofing kasi sa damp proofing is, ang waterproofing, yung tubig, gustong pumasok, nang bubuli ba, nanunulak. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, nag-exert siya ng pressure. Ang tawag doon, hydrokinetic pressure. Ang damp proofing, hydrostatic. So, static lang. Steady lang yung tubig doon. Okay? So, in a way, ang damp proofing, being damp has kumbaga, has an element of moisture in it. Okay? There. And why don't we check this out? Okay. Let me see if I could. Wait lang, class. There. Okay. What happened? Wait lang, class. What happened here? Okay. There. Save as picture. Okay. Damp proofing versus vapor retarder. All right. Very good. Okay. So, where were we? I'll show this to you, no? So, damp proofing versus vapor retarder. So, waterproofing, it prevents water, no? Damp proofing prevents moisture from passing through. Vapor barrier prevents vapor, okay? From passing through. Para bang pareho lang yata, okay? Well, check that out, class, ha? Okay. Sige, nasaan na tayo? Dito, balik tayo, no? So, continuing. Ano pa? Vapor retarder there, no? So, tapos na tayo sa wall enclosure, no? So, for walls for your subject grade enclosure. So, that is your enclosure. What about slabs on grade? Okay. So again, what is slab on grade? No, in concrete we have discussed that already. So we will elaborate further. So what are the concerns? The structural concern, load capacity, protection, thermal, moisture, and then there is also an issue regarding levelness. So we talked about flatness and levelness before, no? So what are some concerns? Slabs on grade, okay? So the definition, the description of slab on grade is, this is a concrete slab supported continuously by earth or compact. So nakapatong siya sa lupa. So in it includes fine grading, okay, sub-base layers. So the grade, ano? There's a mud slab. What's a mud slab? Na-mention ko na rin to kanina, no? Although hindi ko pinansin, okay? So what is a mud slab, by the way? Well, let's check it out. What is a mud slab? So I mentioned earlier the word blinding at saka flowable fill. Okay. So there. Let's check this out. A mud slab, often called a rat slab, no? So it's a 2 to 6 inch thick non-structural concrete. Hindi siya structural, ha? So it is poured over uneven, rocky, or soft ground in crawl spaces and foundation footings. Okay? So the idea, ang ginagawa ko, pag meron akong mud slab, pinapahiran ko siya ng asfalto. Now, non-structural pa lang siya. Tapos, dyan ako maglalatag ng aking bakal. And then, bubuhusan ko na ng konkreto. Yun na yung structural na slab ko. Okay? So, para siyang preliminary slab, no? Okay? So, ginagamit siya. Wala lang. To provide a clean working space, if that's what you want, no? Okay? You could also seal the sub-base. It also prevents moisture infiltration. So yung pagpahid ko ng asfalto is my moisture barrier. Okay? It even deters rodents, no? So essentially mud slab, pwede siyang blinding, no? Saka flowable fill at saka CLSM. Okay? All right. So CLSM is commonly known as flowable fill. It is a self-compacting cementitious material, di ba? Lean concrete. So used as an alternative to compacted soil for applications like mud slabs or blinding, no? So in short, medyo magkakapareha lang sila ng term, no? Mud slab or blinding. So used as a leveling, clean working platform, mud mat or rat slab, no? So you get the idea now, no? Okay. So these are basically related terms, ano? So mud slab, blinding, flowable fill, CLSM, etc. All right, somebody asked a question here. Same as gravel base ba, sir? So you don't really call that as a gravel. Ang gravel base kasi is loose material, no? And di ba, nung tiningnan natin yung slab on grade, naglalagay ka talaga ng base muna bago magbuhos, okay? Ito, for example, gusto kong magpahid ng asfalto, doon sa gravel base, mahirap pahiran ng asfalto yun. Okay? So ang gagawin ko, maglalagay muna talaga ako ng mud slab or lean concrete. No? So, in concept, pareho siya. Ang gravel base kasi is part of the grade, no? Yeah, part siya ng grade. 'Di ba? May sub-base tayo, and then base, and then saka ka maglalagay ng slab. Okay? Nung kanina nang nag-discuss tayo ng slab on grade, yun yung breakdown, 'di ba? So, hindi ganun kapareho. Okay? Hindi ganun kapareho. Siguro yung gravel base, pagbuhusan mo yan ng konting simento, then magkakaroon siya ng surface, and then pwede mo na siyang, ako, pinapahiran ko kasi siya ng asfalto, ano, para magbibigay siya sa akin ng moisture protection. Okay? So that is the difference. I hope you got me there, okay? I hope na nakita mo yung difference, ha? Na-appreciate mo yung difference. Okay? So, klaro na sa inyo yung term, ha? Na mud slab, ha? Okay. Di ba? Sabi doon, a clear working area. Kagaya nung sabi ko sa inyo, pag mag-aalo ka ng konkreto, yung lupa, nagiging sementado na siya, di ba? Pero maninipis lang yun na nagpatong-patong na semento, di ba? Nakalo. And then over time, malinis na siya na lugar, di ba? Hindi na siya lupa na lang. Para na rin siyang konkreto, ano? Pero that's what you call blinding. Blinding concrete. Alright? So ano pa mga terms na ngayon nyo lang narinig, no? Insulation, vapor retarder. Di ba, paulit-ulit lang yung mga terms? Pero makikita mo, habang pumapasok siya sa utak mo, nakikita mo na, ito pala yung mga relevant na mga bagay-bagay, na mga concerns, na mga items, na mga activities, na mga materials na nakikita mo during your foundation, your substructure, and also your site works, no? Ano pa? Waterproofing. Okay? Formwork. The joints are also crucial, ano? Whether expansion joints or control joints. Okay? What about reinforcement, concrete, finishing, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, the usual suspect na yan. So, nakita na rin natin yan earlier. Okay? So, there, no? So, the structural slabs on grade. So, tandaan nyo, structural na to. Kanina, yung mga mud slab, non-structural yan, di ba? Yung mga flowable fill, CLSM, blinding concrete, okay? So what about this? Slab trenches, okay? So these are linear depressions in your slab on grade, okay? And the purpose of this, parang nilagyan mo talaga siya ng lubog na part, no? Parang kanal. Okay? Ang purpose niyan is para doon, pag merong tubig, doon siya pupunta. Okay? So, to collect and transmit liquids. So, it includes, okay, and a cover, if necessary, no? Trench cover. So, slab trenches, no? So, let's see what a real slab trench look like. Oh, take a look. What about that, no? Okay, may nagtanong. Okay, nag-thanks lang naman. Okay. So you could see slab trenches here. Yeah, right. So nothing special, no? Mukhang ito na yung pinaka magandang picture for that. Slab trenches. See some images. Okay. So parang ang dating, lalagyan mo na siya ng abang. Tandaan mo nasa ilalim ka nito, no? So might as well na meron ka ng slab trench. Baka mamaya, bahain ka dyan. Biglang. So yun pala, meron kang drain, ano? Meron kang parang collector, water collector. So nangyayari yan. Naka-experience na ako ng basement na nag-leak yung retaining wall. So bumaha, no? Nagtuturo pa ako nung class, no? Bumabaha yung klase. So hanggang sinuspend namin kasi ang lakas ng ulan sa labas, tapos lumapasok na yung tubig. So parang actually, it's dangerous, ano? Na nagkaroon ng ganyang event. Okay? Pwede mong i-demanda yung building, eh. Okay? It was a hazard, actually, na nagkaroon ng ganyan. So slab trenches, no? What about pits and bases? So para na rin siyang slab trenches, except that meron ka na talagang parang balon, no? Or tangke, no? So this time, these are also depressions in your slabs. Pero yung slab trenches, linear siya, no? Para siyang kanal. Ito, meron kang assigned na area na para siyang tangke or cistern, okay? Ang cistern kasi, ang idea ng cistern is cold water, drinking water. Just like septic tank is. So ang pits and bases are essentially sump, no? Sump. Okay? So you understand the word sump, no? Sump. Okay, so what is a sump? So a sump is a low-lying pit, tank, or basin designed to collect liquids such as water, sewage, or oil. So depende kung ano man yan, no? So wala siyang specific na liquid, no? Okay. So usually ang sump may kasamang pump, no? Sump and pump. Medyo partner yan palagi sila. So what does that tell you? So pag nasa ilalim ka kasi, nasa basement ka, hindi mo na madidrain yung tubig. So kailangan mo siyang i-pump, no? Para maalis sa building. Okay? So sump and pump ang kadalasang naririnig ko na term for that. Okay? So just to show it to you in the internet how it looks like. This is how it looks like. So you could see, meron siyang kasamang pump, no? So that is the concept of a sump. So notice that a sump is usually bilog, no? Bilog. So makikita mo yung sump, no? So maiipon yung tubig dyan. Mostly, pag sabihin mong sump and pump, sa tubig ulan yan eh. No? So lalo na pag meron kang basement. So dyan mo kukolektahin yung tubig, okay? And then ipapump out mo siya. Okay? So that is the concept of a sump, no? Do you follow? Okay. So I hope class, marami kayong natutunan ngayon. We are just talking here about hindi pa nagsisimula yung building natin, ano? Nasa ilalim pa lang tayo ng building natin. Pero parang nare-realize mo na ngayon, what? Ang dami dito ah. So pits and bases, ano? So in structurally, you are going to prepare this, no? Yeah, but in other words, we call this sump, no? Sump. Okay. So sometimes they are above the slab on grade, ano? So ang ibig sabihin, para siyang balon, okay? So pwede rin ganun. What else? So notice that mostly, if not all, the materials used for these structures are made of side-cast concrete glass. Concrete lahat. Kaya nga sabi ko, module 1 natin concrete. After that, siteworks kagad tayo at saka substructure kasi concrete talaga yan, no? So nare-realize nyo na ngayon, halos lahat ng discussion natin, concrete. No? O, ano pa? Mga supplementary components. Again, dito makikita mo mga protection elements, insulation, perimeter insulation, vapor retarder, waterproofing, mud slab, okay? And then may sub-base layer. So kung tatanungin mo ako, yung gravel base, baka dito pa yun, kaysa sa mud slab. Baka yung mud slab. Okay? So lahat ng mga bagay na to, ano, pagkailangan. So marami kang mga supplementary components. So what do you notice now, no? Ang discussion natin nagsimula sa foundation, the structural, and then the enclosure, the wall, and then the slab on grade, yung horizontal naman, no? So what's next here? Pati water and gas. Okay? So sa water, kailangang i-drain mo yan, ha? So you must provide a system to collect moisture and water below grade. Okay? So may mga issues like excavation, even yung perforated pipe if needed, no? To collect the water, no? So usually you will find this at the perimeter, no? Okay? Drainage boards, so drainage mats. No? So yung iba ginagamitan. So let's talk about that here. Let's see. Foundation protection. So here is a yan. So we need protection elements, no? Or water in our foundations, no? Or in our substructure. So in drainage, so remember, as I said, as I told you, concrete alone is not adequate, no, for waterproofing, okay? Because moisture can migrate in the microscopic pores, ano? So this could be through the cracks, mga tie holes, mga utility penetrations, and even the joints that occur, like old joints, ano? So in drainage, so drainage is to draw the groundwater away from your substrate. Okay? Waterproofing is a barrier talaga. Okay? So ito yung drainage. As you can see, there's a perforated pipe here. Okay? So you are in your substructure here, no? Kita nyo? And then maglalagay ka ng crushed stone. So when water comes near the wall, your structural wall, it will be drained towards the perforated drain. But you have another option. So ang backfill, hindi mo maasahan yan, class, because it is soil, it is earth material. Mas matagal siya mag-ipon ng tubig, no? So tatambay yung tubig doon. Kaya nga yung sabi ko sa iyo, yung dump proofing is important here, no? So drainage mat or the drainage board, pagpasok ng tubig, it will be drained down. So it will go to the perforated drain. Now, ang tanong dito is, saan pupunta yung drain na to? No? So, ang tawag natin dyan to daylight, no? To daylight. If you have heard of that term. So, this pipe to daylight. So, ang ibig sabihin yan, either pupunta yan sa a sump or a tank or a slab, a trench, no? Or pit or base. Or it could drain to outside, okay? To the sewers, no? Eh, ang problema nga, kasi nasa ilalim ka na ng lupa. So, meron pa bang mas mababa sa iyo na lugar na pagpupuntahan ng tubig na yan? Okay? So, depende sa sitwasyon. Okay? So, this is the example of the placement of the sump and the pump, no? So, look at this. The slab is found above, while this one, the slab is below. Okay? So, ibang klase, ano? The foundation mat has a slab trench. Okay? So merong technique na ganyan, ano? Below slab na drainage at saka above slab na drainage. Okay? So you see the different features of substructure drainage. No? So again, even cement plaster, damp proofing is good enough, ano? Okay. So again, remember, absence of hydrostatic conditions. Pero yung waterproofing, there is a hydrostatic condition. All right? So that is the essence of this discussion, ano? About drainage. Okay. So what else? So drainage, off-gassing. So when it comes to off-gassing, dalawa yan, ano? Radon at saka methane. Right? So what else? So the activities during construction when it comes to substructure is also very serious, no? Ibang-iba yan. Actually, I call it the dirty works. No? Ako kasi class, I'm a builder, but I'm just a builder of houses. So when it comes to substructure, napaka low impact lang. No? In fact, in the more recent projects I did, hindi na kami nagsa-substructure, hindi na kami nagsa-site works, ano? Because what we do is just we acquire existing houses so that wala na kaming ma-skip na namin yung part na yan. So meron ng existing structure and then we just renovate the house. So parang hindi para maiwasan yung stress, no? hindi na stressful yung project. So I don't know if you can relate with that because as young architects like you, usually you want projects that begin at the start from zero. So kumbaga sa akin, pagod na ako sa ganyang bagay. So, there are so many substructure activities, no? So, starting with the excavation, okay? So, what do you do, no? Then, after the excavation, you return the earth material, so that's called backfill, and then you compact the earth material, so that's compaction. Then the watering. Basically, as I said, the watering is removal during construction. Ano? Removal of water during construction activity. Okay, and then the supports. So there are many excavation supports you could make, ano? So parang itong excavation support, para na rin tong mga ano, nakikita natin yan sa mga iba't ibang projects. Ano? For example, cribbing. Let's talk about cribbing. What is cribbing? Cribbing for wall, no? So this is what a cribbing wall looks like. Okay, so do you see it? No? That is a cribbing. So pwede mong gawin yan as a technique, ano, for earth retention, okay, during your excavation. Okay, so you could have riprap. What about riprap? Riprap naman is just loose stone, ano? Okay. What about revetment? So these are retaining methods, ano, different methods for retaining. Okay? What about, sige, balik na tayo dun. So you get the idea now about the many ways you could support the excavation. So anchors, we already understand that, ano? And other means of permanent and temporary support. So this could be made permanent or they are just temporary because they are just needed for your construction. Okay? So what about anchor tiebacks? Okay? So kanina we talk about foundation anchors, no? Let's go to anchor tiebacks. So tiebacks in foundation. So a tieback would look like this, no? So it's basically something like anchors as well. Some would call this soil nail, but essentially what you do is you drill through your foundation wall and then meron kang pipe niyan and then lalagyan mo siya ng tendon. And then lalagyan mo siya ng epoxy and then once it cures, you post tension the epoxy, hatakin mo siya and then i-anchor mo siya. Okay? That's why it's called anchor tiebacks, no? So kakapit siya sa sa earth, no? So that's the idea of a tieback. Okay? So that is one way to strengthen, ano, your excavation na hindi siya bibigay. Okay? Kuha. Sige. Daming ganap, ano? And we have talked about coffer dam. So what is coffer dam? So a coffer dam is the watertight enclosure when there is water. Pero we also saw it that coffer dam is temporary while caissons are permanent. No? Sheet pile, okay, timber or sheet piling. So what about sheet piling? So let's talk about sheet piling. So especially steel sheet piles, no? So have you seen, have you seen sheet piles before? So ito na yung mga flood control projects na alam natin na malaking kalokohan, no? So may mga iba na nakalubog, dapat 12 meters, 6 meters, nung in-inspection 3 meters lang pala. Okay? So yan yung konsepto ng sheet pile. So yan yung mga foundation supports na, no? Very relevant pala tong discussion natin about site works, no? Lalo na sa mga nagaganap ngayon sa kalokohan sa DPW. Alright, so napakaraming items of study dito, class, ano? So what about slurry wall, no? A slurry wall. So nakita nyo na yung cribbing, ano? What about slurry wall? Let's talk about slurry wall. So slurry wall, no? Especially concrete, no? Foundation. So a slurry wall is like you are going to build a wall first, no? So makikita mo sa slurry wall na meron siyang tie box talaga. Okay. Yan. So bago ka mag-construction, para siyang para siyang malaking, isang napakalaki talaga na. So usually you build the slurry wall all around your site, no? Bago mo pagagawin yung buong building, okay? So babalutan, i-cordon mo muna siya ng slurry wall all around it. Okay? So in a World Trade Center, nilagyan niya muna ng cordon ng buong konkreto sa palibot. Okay? So there, nilagyan muna siya ng slurry wall buong palibot bago sila nagsimula ng building. Okay? So there, no? That's how a slurry wall works, no? Okay. So this is the. So it also serves as a waterproof, no? Okay. Okay, let me see. There. All right. So you could see the slurry wall here. So all around the site, babalutan mo siya muna ng isang slurry wall bago mo aalisin yung earth material sa loob and then magsimula ka ng construction from the bottom. So gaano kalalim? 80 feet yung lalim, no? Ng slurry wall, okay? And then meron pang train tunnel, no? So dadaan pala siya sa World Trade Center, ano? Wow! So again, makikita mo yung role ng slurry wall, ano? Sa construction. Actually dito, slurry wall definition according to anong sabi niya? Slurry wall is a subsurface or underground, barriers constructed, okay? To impede or stop groundwater flow, okay? So yung concrete kasi na slurry wall, it serves as a retaining wall muna, no? But essentially, yeah, that's one of the purpose there, okay? And then finally, we have soil treatment. So I told you about soil treatment. It's not just about termites, So you are also concerned about rodent. So dito sa atin, para bang normal lang na pag gawa na yung building, may ipis, may daga, Kahit basta walang anay, okay lang. Parang hindi pwede, Dapat. Pati yan, wala dapat, And then pati yung vegetation. So kaya pag mag-clear out ka, pag-excavate ka, pati yung mga yung grubbing, ang tawag diyan, clearing and grubbing, dapat inaalis mo yung mga ugat, ng mga puno, ng mga damo. Kasi tutubo ulit yan sa lupa, eh. Okay? So that should be the case. All right? So perfect. The time now is 2:59, no? So we will have another 15-minute break, and after that we are going to deal with letter G. So I have 1 more minute. Let's go to letter G. Okay, first letter G. Letter G here. Okay, there. Okay? So site works naman tayo. Mabilis na lang to kasi kung titingnan mo yung mga activities sa site works, these are just elements, no? It's not so much about the activity itself. Well, look at that, site clearing, things like that, no? Okay? Sige. Let's have a 15-minute break. Thank you.